organized in one spot and doing the layout the way I want it. And finally it's starting to crest over a hump because I have all the stuff written for like channels and centers and gates and all this other stuff. And so my goal is to get that published soon. And because I was just doing the math yesterday, that at the price point I'm thinking of 67 to 77, because it's going to be kind of a big report. That could be a sizable chunk of money every month, even just selling like two or three, a day. So then I'd have something because I have a podcast that I've been doing for 2 years and YouTube channel. So then I really feel like I have something more accessible to channel everybody towards and really promote a lot heavier and I like, as I've been watching, your idea of the delayed delivery because of the incarnation crosses, because I have a database of those going too. But that was one of the things that was like,
Yeah.
oh, I like that idea. I can just, if I don't have it already done,
Yeah.
but I figure I'll work on the right angle crosses first because there seems to be more of those.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So that's my goal.
it's freeing to be able to just be like, okay, well, I don't have to do those 192 things right now. I can do
Hmm.
them as I go along. It absolutely
Hmm.
helps.
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to, I thought I saw Lara here. Oh my gosh. Lara, I see Lara. Lara, I'm gonna make you a co-host and I'm gonna ask you to watch the waiting room for me, please, and let people in so that because I get like way distracted. So I'm gonna close out this little box here so I don't have to get distracted by that. And we're going to get chatting about goals for 2024 and how we're actually going to reach them, what we're actually going to do. So first things first, where are my first things first? We have to do a video disclaimer. So if you are going to be on camera, if you're going to be talking, you're going to, I'm just going to ask you to mute if you're not muted. Then you will show up on the replay. So it is uploaded to YouTube. It is uploaded in the Facebook group. So people will see you talking if you are on camera at all. And we hope that you do come on camera because my manifesting generator eyes want to look into your eyes, no matter what type you are. I find it so much easier to look at actual faces than screens with names on them. So if you want to come online with me, I would love to have you here. The podcast is coming. So the Pulse on Human Design is coming. Our goal is to have it launched over the summer. And within, I'm going to say the next few days, you will be able to join the Hype Team. What is the Hype Team? It is something where you're going to get exclusive access to a human design treat. You're going to get the chance to win one of the spots in our directory, and you'll get the chance to win a 6-month subscription of Bodygraph chart, all for putting the word out about the podcast. And if you haven't been part of a big podcast launch before, it is super, super, super fun. If you're thinking of launching your own podcast, follow along with us because I don't know I'm assuming you know this, but I didn't know this in the beginning. So just like, Amazon bestsellers and top 100, New York Times bestsellers and all of that, there's one reporting system. And all of things to be counted have to go through that one reporting system on day one. So it's like a bit of a game, but it's a really fun game, especially if you have competitiveness in your human design. It's a really super fun game. So we want to hit the top 100 in the charts because we want to get pushed out. We want to push human design out. And our podcast is all about supporting you, the practitioner, business tips for the human design practitioner. It's called the Pulse on Human Design. You will have seen something about that in the Facebook group, but we will be sharing more and you'll have a chance to sign up for that Hype Team if you'd like to. What else? The directory. So you may or may not have seen that there is now a practitioner directory on Bodygraph Chart site. It is a place where you can list your services. And it's not like I'm part of some directories for human design, but what I love about this one that is different is because the website ranks so highly, like there are thousands and thousands of visitors who come to this site. I was shocked when Giddis showed me the analytics for the amount of visitors that they have on the site. I was like, that can't be right. That can't be right. So he would be able to explain it in technical terms, but because you're on his site, which is so highly ranked, then you're more likely to come up in search as well. So Giddis always wants us to do better in business. And what we are going to be doing in July is, for anyone who is a practitioner listed on that site, we're going to get in a room with you, a Zoom room with you, Zoom room with you. Let's hope it works. And go over some things that you can be doing to improve your website, improve the traffic coming to it, improve the SEO, improve all of those things on your website. So that is super exciting. Yeah, so that's July. July, we'll be talking about website improvements. And then in August, we are going to run another boot camp or challenge, whatever you like to call it. It's going to be on growing your audience. So details of that will be coming up in the near future.
You're scheduled for your academic advisor. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So let's do our affirmations and get this show on the road, shall we? I don't know about you, but I could use a good affirmation and some nice deep breaths. Okay. So just coming to stillness, and you can repeat after me in your head or out loud, whatever works for you. I am worthy of receiving my greatest desires. I am abundant. I have within me what it takes to reach my goals. Everything that I desire is on the other side of my resistance. I am safe. I am supported. I am more than enough. At this very moment, someone is praying, whatever you believe that to be, for the solution that I provide. I am exactly where I need to be in this moment. And do them one more time. I am worthy of receiving my greatest desires. I am abundant. I have within me what it takes to reach my goals. Everything that I desire is on the other side of my resistance. I am safe. I am supported. I am more than enough. At this very moment, someone is praying for the solution that I provide. I am exactly where I need to be in this moment. And then when that feels complete, we'll just come back to the room and we'll get started talking about goals. So I don't know who was here last week and who was not. I mean, I know some faces that I have seen last week, but we talked about actually looking at those goals that you set at the beginning of the year. I'm going to call them goals. You can call them intentions, whatever you would like to call them. But, you know, we most of us have an idea of, you know, where we want to go in a year, or we have, you know, some inkling of where we'd like to go in a year. So sometimes we can get to this point in the year where we're almost at the halfway point. We can get to this point in the year and either we have completely forgotten about our goals, or maybe we've achieved them. You know, there were some people on the call last week and they're like, oh, you know what? I actually already got this done. So that feels really good. And it's really important to celebrate yourself. So I would love to chat with somebody, maybe just a little quick idea of if you were able to go back to your goals after last week and say, you know what, this doesn't fit, this does fit. What is it that you're going to work towards moving through the rest of this year? I almost said moving through the rest of 2023. Holy. Time's a flying. Does anybody want to share?
I'll start. So my goals are to actually implement Bodygraph chart into my website.
Yes.
To create a membership community. I'm actually doing Jeff Walker's product live our launch formula 3-day intensive workshop at the end of the month. And then, so hopefully with building the membership, I will be able to engage more in a community. So it's really about creating an email list, so to speak. So creating an email list. The social media, like I don't do it myself. I provide content and somebody schedules it. So that's great because I don't like doing it. And I would much rather be engaged into a group. So I'm looking forward to actually building an email list, building a membership, and then utilizing that to launch my signature program in December, January of the end of the year, beginning of the year.
Nice. That's a lot. That's amazing.
is.
Jeff Walker's program, I bet you that will be an incredible 3 days.
I am super excited. I actually did the VIP program because this is the first time he's ever offered it at a really low, like a ridiculously low price. Because usually his programs are like thousands of dollars. And yeah, it was really affordable this time. And he's also created his own AI that they utilize with it. So it's going to be super intensive. It's like 8 to 9 hours each day, but hey, by the time you leave, you have a strategy in order to launch, and I'm super stoked for that. So 2024 is the year to get all this shit rolling.
Yay. Yay, amazing. And the chart, having the chart embedded on your site will help so much with growing your email list. Like it is crazy what a great lead magnet that is. Yeah. So yeah, that's awesome. Anybody else want to share your goals? Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share where you're at with your business goals? What you're going to commit yourself to for the remainder of the year? 6 more months. Crazy. Yeah, Danita.
Okay, so this has been in the back of my mind, but I just got 2 texts from people that are like, get your website up. I need you now.
Nice.
So that's why I've been like writing all these messages about the website. But about 3 weeks ago or a month ago, I talked about a girl inviting a bunch of people to her house. And she just hit me like, you need to come over here and talk about your human design. I was like, what? So I went over and did that. So this is one of the girl or 2 of the people from that group.
Nice.
So now I'm like, oh, how do I do all this? I don't know. Do I do a membership virtual? Do I do like in-person kind of thing? So I'm feeling that. So I think that's what I'm going to focus on. And then for this week, this website, for the life of me, has to be complete. We're on Wednesday. By Sunday night,
Okay.
it's going to be up.
Okay.
No matter what.
I'm going to check on
no matter
you.
what. Okay.
I'm writing
Those are
myself a note.
That's it, my 2 goals. Because I'll have 6 because I'm a line 1. So we're gonna just do those 2.
Nice. Good for you. And it's amazing how many people are seeking you out. It's like the universe is like, come on. It's so fun. So fun.
It is beautiful because I was one that always gave advice to people when they didn't want it. And when I learned the line 4 and how I tracked that and I backed off, they seemed to come.
Nice.
So it's so interesting. It's like I attract them now because I'm not, even though I'm like this and want to tell them so much because there's so much information. Oh, please ask me, please.
Yeah.
But when I back up
Yeah.
and let them just come in divine timing, it seems to work better. So
Isn't it incredible how when we live by our design, we magnetize the people, places, and experiences to us?
Yes.
Like that's the way we're supposed to be.
Yes, right. It works. So
it works.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
it.
congrats. Thank you for sharing with us. Andrea.
Sure.
Hi, evening. So I don't know if we're showing, but tomorrow I have a workshop. So my goals for this year, and I didn't say this last time I spoke, but my goals is to do human design for entrepreneurs and healing with human design. So I've got really got into human design. I've worked out how I can use it for the both parts of my business, that everything that I do basically, because I'm a healer, I'm a business strategist, and now I'm able to put it all together. So yeah, last week I tried out and putting something out into a group that I'm part of, and now I've got, I think, nearly 30 odd people that are signed up for it for tomorrow's
Oh,
workshop. So yeah,
that's
it was just like,
amazing.
let me just put something out and posted it, and yeah, they've signed up. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Yeah, and then in a couple of weeks I'm going to do and then the offering's going to be to work with me for 3 months to go deeper into their human design and about their business strategy as well. So yeah, so that's so for the end of the year, I would have hoped to have done the healing, the human design for entrepreneurs and the healing with human design works that, and have a group for both of those.
Nice. Amazing.
Thank
I
you.
love that you have 30 people registered for this. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congrats. Congrats.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
sharing with us. Okay, I am going to butcher your name if I say it. Elpida?
No, you said it right.
Oh, it's beautiful. So different.
Thank you. It's Greek. It means hope.
Oh, wow. Love it.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I just started launching a 12-week course. It's not really a course, it's kind of an experience combining human design and feng shui.
Nice.
Um,
Nice. Great niche.
yeah, so and my desire is, one, is to fill that course. And two, to use it as a springboard to bring in one-on-one clients where I help them with life coaching and business strategy.
Nice. Nice. I love it. And there's someone, I was on a podcast group with someone who I'm sure there's lots of Feng Shui podcasts if podcasts interest you at all. But you'd be a great guest for a Feng Shui podcast if you like to speak on podcasts.
I do.
Yeah. Have you been on some? Have you been seeing?
No, I have not.
Yeah. I'll see if I can go back. I don't remember at all who it was, but if it kind of comes through, I wrote your name down because I love the meaning of it. So I'll post it in the group if I think of it, but I'm sure that there would be some, like Feng Shui is pretty big, right? So yeah, I love the
And
niche.
it's when you combine the two, because they're both based on the I Ching or they have the I Ching in common, I should say. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Congrats. Thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Marika. Joy by Design. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. I finally got the camera to work. I'm just starting to launch my new program, like Moms on Number One, to put themselves first again and like take care of themselves instead of the whole family and everything else. And that I want to integrate with human design and also emotional integration. So then the combination will probably help, I hope. So that's my goal, to have that started, the program. And I want to start it with groups starting September. And then like every 3 months, I start a new group. I'll hope to start the first one with about 5 people and then keep growing. So
Nice.
that's my goal. That has come together the last 2 weeks. So it's really fresh.
Nice. Well, good for you. Congrats. Congrats. Thanks for sharing with me. Okay, does anyone else want to share before we get into how we're going to do this? Have some earballs on your goals. Sometimes it's nice if you have somebody that understands what you're working towards. Sometimes it's nice to have somebody holding that for you or with you. All right. So what we're going to be thinking about for the purposes of today is I was going to switch it into breakout rooms. I can't promise I'm going to do that because we've had enough Zoom hiccups today to last a lifetime. So I'm just going to I might just keep going where this is working. So we might just keep doing this. So what we're going to be thinking about is what we're doing for the next 90 days, because the things that we do now dictate the type of business that we have 90 days from now. So I know it can be really tempting, and please believe me when I say we're always going to live by our human design. We're always going to live by our strategy and all of those things. And business is business. There are some business truths and business things that we have to do if we want to have a real grown-up business. And you're here, so I'm assuming that that's what you want. So we have to think about what we're working on in this 90-day period, because the tendency can be, and I get it, I freaking love summer, and it's summer where I live right now. I love it. I would be outside every minute of my life if I possibly could be. And I know that if I do nothing in my business for the summer, then I will have to, like, I won't have anything set up and ready in September and October, when my business is going to be really, really busy if I do the things I need to do now. So that's what we're going to look at, is what do you need to do now? Summer, we call summer slump. I hate that term, but summer slump is often the time, like it's a really good time to get systems in place in your business. So if there's anything in your business that needs organizing, if there's anything in your business where you've not put the things in place that need to be in place, if you need to hire a VA, if you need to hire a podcast editor, if you need to get some help with something, you don't want to be doing that like Tammy. She knows she's going to be launching a membership. Well, you do not want to be in the middle of your launch training a new VA. So start to think about what do I need to have in place now for this busyness that I'm going to have. Marika was talking about having running some group coaching programs. Well, she doesn't want to be in the middle of that and then being like, well, if only I would have done this, this, and this, I would have had 10 people instead of 5 people, or I would have had 5 people instead of 2 people, you know? So now's the time to do that. Some of the things that you can start to think about if you are a social media person. I know that not everyone wants to be on social media, and that's totally fine. But if you are, like, I mean, some of us are bio junkies. We're continually changing our bios, but looking at your bio, does it still represent what it is that you do? Does it say really freaking clearly exactly what you do and exactly the transformation that you provide? You know, so many bios that you see might be fun. I mean, it's cute to have a fun bio, but if it doesn't say what you actually do and how you actually help someone, then, I mean, you've just missed like a silent salesperson on your bio. A scheduler, do you need to get a scheduler for your posts? I mean, summer is a great time to have things scheduled out. And especially for those of you that are talking about launching, what can you get out? Like in my content programs, I refer to it as a skeleton of content. So I always have, and I'm a second line profile, right? So I know that my hermit game is strong. And when it comes on, I need to be able to not be front facing so much. So if I have a skeleton of content scheduled into my scheduler, I don't even have to think about Instagram. So whatever your platform is, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, do you need to get a scheduler in place? B-roll and video. You know, if you're having a good hair day, if you have your favorite outfit on, if the sun has just given you the perfect glow and you've got all the energy in the world, crank out some videos, get some stuff done ahead so that you can have some time off in this slumpy kind of summer that I know. I mean, people talk about it being a slump. I don't like that terminology, but it is what it is. And then also you want to be starting to think about what's the long game in your business. So when I say long game in business, I think of it as things with a search engine. So think podcasts, blogs, even LinkedIn to a degree is a long game. Somebody's singing for us. YouTube is definitely a long game. Definitely a long game. So what kind of things do you have? What's your long game? Anybody want to share their very favorite long game platform that they're putting their all into or are interested in putting your all into? Ow. Mine is my podcast. Yeah, Christy, go ahead. Yep.
Well, I'll just say that, you know, I started this, I don't just integrate with Bodygraph chart, but I also have their business website, which I love. But I know there's things that I could do on the website platform that would help with some of the, I'll call passive like activity. So I did hire a VA who also knows human design. And for example, she helped me fix my shopping cart, and I sold 2 human design reports easily. So
Nice.
I know in the long run, I guess that's the long game for me, is that this website can help bring my business to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
And
Thank
summer's a perfect time for addressing it.
Yeah, yeah, because things, I mean, I don't love, you know, we keep reaffirming, well, but it is a fact of life, right? A lot of us have more women as clients than men. And a lot of women are moms and they're busy. They're doing things in the summer, or, you know, families are on holidays or any of the things, right? So it is the perfect time to do those things. Look for all of the, like, Lord knows, there will be broken things in my funnels and all of those things that we can be going back and checking, right? So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. For me, my long game is my podcast. I love the podcast, and it's the thing that drives the content train. It's the thing that drives the bus. It's the thing that I'm always going back to. My email list is my very, very favorite thing in my business. For sure. And I look at social media as the welcome mat of my business. So I always want to make sure that I'm really welcoming and that I've got content there that's bringing people in. But where I'm going to spend time with people is on my email list. So if you haven't started to build an email list, an email list is a really important thing in our businesses, really important thing in our businesses. And I describe my email list like it's my kitchen. You know how at a house party, everyone gathers in the kitchen and, you know, they're kind of under your feet and sometimes you don't want them to be and you can't get everything done, but it's the most fun place to be at a house party is in the kitchen where everybody's hanging out. That's what my email list feels like. It feels like that for me, and hopefully it feels like that for people that are in there with me. But that's one of the long game things in your business as well. So if you haven't yet started your email list, like Tammy was saying in the beginning, she's going to be working on her email list to reach her goals. So if you have any kind of an inkling that you're going to be selling anything in your business in the course of the lifetime of your business, you're going to want an email list. Like, that's just the cold hard. I mean, we can say, you know, I don't like social media. I don't want to be on social media, all those things. And that's fine and great. But in email lists, you really do want to have an email list. So you can build that with your Bodygraph chart. Like, that is an excellent lead magnet to have on your website to start to grow your email list, and then get a welcome sequence in place and start selling your reports from there. Has anyone played with timers on your reports in your business? That's something that I'm going to be setting up over the summer, is putting a timer in my welcome sequence where they're going to have a coupon code for their report. Mine is called the manuscript. And they're going to have a coupon code to get it in a certain amount of time. And that's something I love following along with James Wedmore. He's like a 12 million a year business owner. So I have lots that I can learn from him. And he talks about how human beings oftentimes won't make a decision until they have to make a decision. So having some sort of a coupon code or something, that's just something that I'm playing with for the summer. So, Marika, can we play with your goal?
Sure.
Is that okay? So you want to launch a group program?
Yeah.
And do you have an audience?
Yes, I have about 400 followers on Instagram right now, and I'm currently creating the 9 post steps to welcome them and give them like a little warming up for the program.
And do you have an email list?
No.
Okay. Do you have the Bodygraph chart on your site?
Yes, I do, and I intentionally didn't put the email list on there because I really experienced it myself as spam a lot of time, and I was not gonna do that to my customers yet. I wasn't really ready. I didn't have my target group ready, like really on point. That has all been changing, and I just wrote it down like, okay, maybe I want to start with an email list. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
So
So that's a really important piece to get in place. for sure, for sure, for sure. Especially if you want to be launching, and you don't have to spam your people. You can treat them
No, definitely.
really well.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, you're not going to do that, especially if it's something that's bothered you in the past.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's going to be important to get a welcome sequence in place and to start having people, especially if you're launching these programs and you're thinking you're going to launch them, you know, over and over and over again, because we can't rely. Is social media the only other thing that you have, or do you have some other? Before I make that assumption.
Sorry, and some?
I said before I make that assumption that it's either social media or email.
Now I do go to network meetings in the Netherlands a lot, but not really something online as well. I don't have a podcast yet or things like that. No.
Okay, and this is an online program that you're launching?
Hybrid, partially online and partially live. Group live day, and part one-on-one as well. So it's hybrid. Yeah, I think that's the best word for it.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing about social media, you know, when we're launching on social media, when we're doing anything on social media, is that we have no idea who's seeing our content. We really don't know who's seeing it. And, you know, I mean, not enough people are seeing it, right? So yeah, I would strongly suggest an email list. And then what's your human design type?
I'm a 1-3 sacral generator.
Okay. So, and have you created this I know there's a lot of questions. Have you created this program yet?
No, not completely.
Okay.
I've set up the backbone, like the bigger line,
Yeah.
but not the exact content. No.
Okay. So, there's this thing that we do in business where we launch before we sell, or sorry, we sell before we yeah. So, do you plan to run a beta program for
How do you mean?
like it's
like pilot? Like a pilot, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be like the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So what kinds of things do you need to have in place to get ready for this pilot program? What kind of things can you be doing now?
That's exactly I was like, I've been developing this like the last week, so I'm working on it still.
Okay.
And it was a good one. I really had like, okay, what do I need to look at? Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have the things in place for it.
Okay. So that's good. I would start with creating some content, making people curious about it. For your Instagram or whatever social media that it is that you have. Get talking about it in your stories, get giving people things to respond to, like use question stickers, ask people what they want around this type of thing that you're offering. Ask what their biggest pain point is around this. You won't use the word pain point, but what's your biggest struggle around X? If you had to choose A or B, which would you choose? I'm thinking of creating something that helps with blank. Does that resonate with you? And I would also be talking about running their chart when you're on your social media. I would definitely, especially if you're going to set up your email.
Yeah, that's especially in the 9 posts that I'm putting up there right now, or like I'm creating. I'm still in Canva, you know, making the post. I already wrote the captions. And yeah, I think it's a good one to start putting there the email list there as well. I didn't do that at first because things weren't in place yet to follow up as well. And right now I'm like, okay, I think this is going to be the good thing. When you said it, I felt like, okay, I think this is feeling like I need to be doing right now. The good thing is I was a technical virtual assistant, so I can do those things. I can easily build it. So my website is up to date now, and now I can start doing that. Yeah.
So when do you want to launch the pilot program? September. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So you've got a runway where you're going to build your audience, because we always need new blood in our audience. We always, so that we're not, continually trying to sell the same thing to the same people. So you're going to grow your audience like crazy. And you're going to be talking up, not talking up the program, but talking to them through the lens of what this is helping them with. Until you feel like you want to puke because you're talking about it too much.
Yeah.
Not everybody sees all of your stuff, right?
No, exactly.
So when we look at conversion rates for launches, we look at, you know, between 1% and 3% is considered average. Yes, you may do more than that. Absolutely, you may do more than that.
Yeah.
The more engaged you are with your audience and they with you, the higher your conversion rate will be. So it's really important to get talking with them now.
I remember I did a coaching program once and she asked us, like, how many messages about this program did you see? And we were like, well, 3, 4. Oh, she said, I posted 35 times. We're like, okay. Then you know exactly how little you see. So that's, yeah.
And, you know, pre-2020, we needed 7 touch points online in order to take a step towards the person. And in late 2022, it was 27 touch points. So that's a lot of chances we get to touch people before they actually come through and move through with us. And that's not everybody. I mean, some people are going to move more quickly. Some people are going to be more kind of attached to you, especially, you know, if you have fourth line, a lot of fourth line energy, your community probably has been with you for a long time. There's a lot of people who just kind of are with you as you go through life. But yeah, we have to get our stuff out there more.
Definitely. Yeah. Good one.
And then I'm going to give you one more thing that you could see how you respond to is you could guest on podcasts. If you have something that you feel like you could benefit their audience from, I would look for people in your niche and look for who you can provide value to. If it's something that interests you, podcast, if there's something
to be a guest on other podcasts. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I've been like contemplating whether or not I should start a podcast myself. Not right now, but like in the future. So that would be a good one to start trying. I always hated my own voice, so that always kept me from it. And I don't really like listening to myself. So I was like, I don't know, but I like talking, so that would work.
You don't have to listen to yourself.
No, exactly. I'll give that to the podcast manager and just you do edit and you put it up there. And make blogs of it and social media posts and all that stuff. Yeah, that's great. I know. Yeah, good one. Thank you.
And make sure you have a link for your beta launch or your pilot program, whatever you're calling it. Make sure you have it in your Linktree or Instagram or whatever, wherever somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody else want to talk about what you're working on, what your goal is? Or question? Yeah, Nikki?
I'll share. So today I'm not working. I have a day job. I'm not working today. So I feel like I can slow down and process my thoughts. Usually when I'm on these calls, I'm juggling. And I'm realizing that juggling is not working for me. And I'm looking forward to the day where I can totally just be off and just focus on this. So I've been doing human design for a while and I've been playing with, I'm going to start my human design business for at least like the last 3 to 4 years. And this year feels like the year that I felt the most support, like everything I thought I didn't know how to do. So I feel the not the anxiety, but the buildup of, or the urgency of, yes, this is the time is now, because I feel like if I could just focus on this, I could actually do the things. Because I just feel like all this information is coming all of a sudden. I'm like, I have everything I need. So if I could just focus and lock it down and get it together and situated, I feel like I will be safe enough to go ahead and give these people their notice. Um, but so I made a huge financial mistake this year, and I paid some company some amount of money to help me create a course. And when I started doing the material for the course, I realized I don't want to do this because I'm not a human design teacher. And I felt like I was teaching. And I was like, I'm not a human design teacher. And I know that I do better in person, one-to-one, and I do better in conversation. Like I'm very conversational. So I really can't plan how it's going to go. I just need to show up and be there. So one of the things that I realized I think would be helpful, because I have a lot of connections and associated with a lot of different groups where I can be a network provider for those groups, that I need to come up with a standard human design presentation, like my intro presentation, my workshop, how I introduce myself, like because I was a photographer at an event this past weekend, but one of the key things that one of the speakers was like, oh, one of the 5 P's of parenting, the first one was personality, knowing the different personalities of your children. So I was like, I can help with that as a follow-up to be able to help people understand at least what their children's human design type is. So just being prepared with like a short, maybe like 15, 20 minute, and then maybe like a full like 45 minute introduction presentation that I can always show up in these communities with, just to talk about what human design is and how it helps and what I do. So, and I'm not the greatest at presentations and workshops, but it's something that I need to do.
What's your human design?
5-2 manifesting generator.
Okay. Are you good on your feet? Are you good on the fly?
I think so. I'm starting to recognize and accept that as a gift, as my 3420. I used to think I was just very shy.
Yeah, you may find that you do just fine when you're in response in those groups. Probably often you may find that you do even better when you're in response in those groups, instead of having to be like, so many times I see I'm Manny Gen 2, and sometimes I see Manny Gens that we come in and they have all of these things prepared, and then they like, I'm going to change the presentation at the last minute every time. There's no sense in me creating something because it's going to change 2 hours before. I'm going to be it's going to be powering through me. Sorry, let me just, there we go. So yeah, I'm just inviting you to just kind of think about or feel into, how prepared do I need to be? Because like, can you trust yourself to be in the moment and responding? And the answer is probably yes. But yeah.
And I still feel like I just want to have something. Like I don't have to go by it, but I feel like I just want to have it, or the basics.
Yeah, and that's okay. So what needs to happen for you to have that in place?
I think I just need to do it. I think I should just sit and just, whether it's just a couple of slides or paragraphs or bullet points, but I just need to know what my spiel is.
Yeah. Do you do readings now? Yeah. So you have a system for how you flow around a chart?
Yeah, I'm getting better at it.
That could be a good way to kind of get into, because it would give you something to respond to. If you're looking at charts, it sounds like you responded to this situation with the kids and thinking, oh my God, I could totally help with that, right? So it may give you something to respond to actually have charts in front of you and be like, okay, well, I would start with this piece, and then I would go to this piece, and then I would go to this piece. And then remember, when you're doing a presentation, that they don't need to know everything you know. So like the more we can simplify it, the more we can kind of bare bones it, that they're going to get an actual win out of it. Like, how big of a difference it would make in someone's life just to know their type and how they're supposed to show up in the world. especially for kids. Like, I mean, that's life-changing if parents knew that about their kids.
Right. Yeah. So that's one thing. I'm not trying to give myself too much because I have a lot of goals. But
Yeah.
that means I do want to start either a podcast or just some kind of weekly consistent live that I may do on Facebook. Though, because I've had the name for it for like a few years and I've been playing around with it and I'm like, no, I think I'm ready now.
So what has to happen for you to start that?
Write out the description and start asking people to join me for it, schedule it, learn how to work StreamYard and do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably doable by the end of the year. Yeah. And in our group, Kathy, I'm not going to pronounce her last name well, but she
I've been on her show actually.
Okay. Yeah, so she took something that she does live in a Facebook group and made it into a podcast.
She made it into a podcast, right?
Yeah. So you could do a lot with that if you choose to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's two big things to get done in your business. And perfect things to be working on over the summer months. Because imagine if you could be ready with this Facebook Live situation, for the end of August, the beginning of September, then what would change in your business by the end of the year because of all the people that you'll bring in through that offering that you have.
Got it. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I just wanted to.
You're welcome. Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, and good luck with your job. Job.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else want to talk about your specific goal? Yeah, Elpida?
Yeah, so I'm launching this, it's 12 weeks and it's based on a feng shui ritual called the tracing of the 9 stars, where you actually walk your entire space, you walk the 9 different areas, and you set an intention. And the idea is the first 2 weeks, we're going to talk a little bit, give them the bare minimum of feng shui and then the bare minimum of human design. And then the next 9 weeks, we're going to go through each area. So starting with career, because that's number 1, which is life's purpose. And we'll talk about conscious sun. We'll talk about incarnation crop. So we're going to talk about their chart. Like, I want it to be intimate. I want it to be like 12 women. And we're going to look at their space, because feng shui tells you where you are right now. Whatever's going on in your space right now, that's where you are. And to me, human design is your potential, who you are, your most authentic self. And so how do we look at where we are right now? How do we look at who, I don't want to say supposed to be, but who is our most authentic self? And how do we create intentions and placements in feng shui in order to embody it? So using them together as 1, diagnostic, and 2, as an embodiment practice. And then the last week we talk about next steps, like where do you need to course correct and stuff like that. And I'm really excited about it. It actually came from, I did these business genie course, little mini sessions where, well, they weren't mini sessions. They were 3 hours long, but anyway, where I use human design and feng shui to help them accomplish one goal. And sometimes, like you said, just telling somebody their strategy was like a game changer, or their type. It's like, well, I juggle so many things. Well, you're a manifesting generator. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, was huge. And then one of those clients said, I want you to come into my membership and I want you to teach feng shui. And so I'm actually teaching just the basic feng shui ritual next week. And then she's like, you should make this a course. You should bring in human design. And I was just like, so I'm excited about it. It's just that, like, I show up, I do these really long live streams. I'm putting it out there. I have resistance to doing a sales page because I get in my head. So yeah, I'm a sacral manifesting generator, a 6'2", 48 years old. So coming off the roof soon, hopefully, please, like, push me off sooner. I have Ajna throat G center and sacral defined, and I have the 43 down to the 14. It's not all conscious. So very individual chart. I do get into my head. I'm an Aquarius, so I get into my head. Yeah, I know my chart inside out, and I'm like, it's a beautiful chart. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you have all this magic in your chart. And I look at it and I'm like, it's kind of like the common sense goes out the window. Like yeah, I don't know what happens. There's a disconnect there.
Okay, so what's your question?
So my question is, how do I move past that? Like I get excited about something. My Chiron is in 42, which I know is completion, and it's also harvest, and it's also detachment, depending upon what system you're looking at. So I know that's one of my challenges, is to complete things, to detach from the outcome, to allow myself to receive. And it's just like, yeah, like I don't know what I'm missing, or what I don't know what I don't know. It's my open head. Like,
okay, well, just I have a pet peeve in human design, that, and we all do it, is that we tell people not to identify with their not self. And then all day long we say, that's my open head, that's my open root, that's my this, that's my that, you know? So that's not who you are. That's not who you came here to be. And I know you know that. So I'm going to ask you some questions.
okay.
Do you want to do this course?
Yes.
Is now the right time to do this course?
Yes.
Do you like these long live streams that you're doing?
I feel they're a trauma response.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you do something different to bring people to the course?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I'm pitching it next week in the workshop that I'm doing, because it's like, okay, this is the next level of taking this and bringing human design into it, so you can create more aligned intentions and placements. I mean, there's 35 people in the group, so I could potentially fill it. I mean, if everybody shows up. I guess the fear is that not enough people are going to be there, or not enough people are going to sign up.
And then what happens?
Then I have to go back to the drawing board.
And what does that mean?
I have to create a new offer. I have to figure out how to pay my bills.
So there's a lot more wrapped up in this than, why am I not showing up to do this thing?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I have this feeling that I am this amazing genius trapped in a stupid body, or a stupid brain.
Can I see your chart?
Yeah, how do I share it to you?
You should be able to share your screen. And if anybody else has to jump off, go ahead and jump off. We'll just hang out here for a little bit longer.
Don't mind all my stuff.
No, we can't see it.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy, can you make it bigger?
Is that better?
A little bit. So I'm like, have a hard time. Okay, there we go. A little bit more better. Yeah. Okay.
I gotta plug in or I'm gonna lose you.
Yeah. Okay, so a few things come to mind. So one of the things, I mean, you know that you, now I lost you. There we go. You know that where you are right now, being 48 as a 6-line profile, is probably the most pain you're ever going to be in your life. I hope you know that. I am not a 6-line profile, but I have never worked with a 6-line profile who is in the age range that you are, who is comfortable. They are all like in the most discomfort of their life. So part of that is natural. It doesn't mean that it has to be painful, but there is discomfort as well, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's personal stuff. There's, yeah.
Yeah, and you're working through a lot of integrating all of the stuff that you have been learning for the last 48 years. So give yourself a little bit of grace. And you are here to show others the way. Others will see what they need to see in you as you're role modeling for them. And that's big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill for anyone who's a 6-line profile. Okay, so a couple of things that I just noticed in your chart, just at a glance, are like you're heavily right facing. Your variables are, you've 3 right facing variables. You're taking information in from everywhere, and it's really important for you to have space around yourself, space to allow things to come to you when they're ready to come to you. So one of the questions that I was going to ask you was, are you truly living in response?
Not always. My husband and one of my sons are emotional centers, and they hijack my emotions a lot. I'm getting better at being like, is this my stuff? Am I being emotional because I'm emotional? So no, I'm not always living in response.
Yeah. So that would, and I mean, I know that this is really basic, but I also know that as Manny Gens, we have the power to just keep pushing and making the things happen and doing all of the things. And it can be really hard to step back, especially if we're in a place where like, oh my God, what if I can't pay my bills? It can be really hard to not make things happen because you know you can. So like maybe taking a step back, creating some space, whatever that looks like for you, and allowing something to come through. Like, is it possible that something massive is actually trying to come through you and it can't come through because you're busy pushing towards this other thing because you have to pay your bills, which is understandable. This is not a judgment. Please believe me. And I mean, in your highest expression, you are one of the most magnetic people on the planet. And you have this beauty, like the way that you do everything you do is responding to opportunities that are presented to you and bringing them to the people that need them. And following your own rhythms and patterns. Really important. That 1-8 too, that's a killer for self-criticism too. So when you're being hard on yourself. Can you stop sharing your screen just for a second? I have such a hard time not seeing eyeballs, sorry. Oh, there you are. So something else I was going to ask you is, do you know who your ideal client is?
Yeah, I love helping moms create their own anger. Like that's my unconscious 14, helping them take care of themselves. And ironically enough, that's what I'm struggling with. I mean, the paradox.
Because that's your greatest conditioner. Is that gate 14 is your greatest conditioner. So
I mean, I can manifest like clothes and like money is a little bit of, not a little bit, it's a big challenge. The other resources, yeah. Yeah, and I see how like I really do influence people. Like sometimes all I have to say is just one word and people just shift. And it's just like, okay, but I can't just do it all for free.
Nor should you. No.
No, I actually had somebody who was reaching out. Can you just give me a couple tips? I'm like, no, you can buy my $188 offer. Like, well, just a call, like you don't have to get on a call. I'm like, no, I'm not giving my magic away for free anymore. And actually, when I do a live stream, I share so much. If people just did my live streams, watch and some of them are long, like yesterday's was like an hour and a half, but like you get so much out of them. I'm like, that's my free.
Yeah.
You can afford me that and you'll get so much out of it. If I'm looking at your chart, if I'm looking at your feng shui, I have a friend right now. She's like, can you pull just a couple cards for me? Because I started out as a tarot reader. Nope. What am I getting in return? And it's like, I hate to be that way, but it's like, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
What's you have gate 8 defined twice in your design? Is it 8? Is it a line 2 in both places?
I know the unconscious earth is a gate 2 or a line 2. I mean, I look at it so often, I should know these things. But,
well, it's hard sometimes to remember your own chart.
Yeah, both are 2. It's unconscious earth and unconscious moon.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some homework that might sting a little bit, okay? 8.2 is my conscious sun. So that gate and that in that line is all about contribution through service. And I hear what you're saying, because we can very easily, for all of us, we can very easily fall into giving too much for free and not charging what we're worth and all of those things. But it sounds like there's something here for you in the energy of this. Like, I know you're giving great on your live stream. So it's like, I can't give because like, and so I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. Like, where did that happen first? What happened? Like, where's the energy around that for you? Where someone has taken advantage of, where, I mean, there's probably 1,000 situations in your life, right? But go back through those. Because that 8.2 for you is about contribution through service. And I don't mean you have to serve for free. That's not ever what I mean. I'm always the one who's going to tell you to raise your prices. With gate 14 being in your unconscious sun, that's like the biggest, one of the biggest conditioners in your design for you. So that's another really good place to look at the shadows of and see, like, am I in shadow anywhere here? Because that's where you bring darkness. That's where you bring light to the darkness, is through your unconscious sun. So of course, that's going to be a big conditioner in your design, in all of us. So it's like, what stories do I have around that? And one of the stories is money is challenging. So what would I say if I didn't think that money was challenging? What if I had no evidence that money was a challenge in my life? How would I show up differently for myself? I love your helping moms. What I'm kind of curious about with your ideal client is, do they already know human design?
Most do.
Yeah.
Have a basic understanding of it. Actually, one of my business GD clients, my first one, actually uses human design in her business. And things that I shared with her about her design, she had like no clue.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just, a lot of what I do is strategy. So like the reason she came to me was because she had to write a speech, and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, well, you're an unconscious head, like start speech text, it'll come through. You don't know what you know. And I'm like, just start. And she's like, I do that all the time in my life. And I'm like, why aren't you doing it in your business? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, exactly, do it. And it was a game changer for her.
Yeah.
And she did a little bit of feng shui in her self and knowledge area. And she's just like, yeah, it was. So sometimes it's not even the feng shui that changes. It's that one thing of validating something and giving them permission to do it in everything. Is huge. Man, I know that's my 43-23 a lot of times. I
That's
know
what I
that
was
one.
gonna say. If you need money tomorrow, could you do that type of a session with people?
Yeah, and I stopped doing them because they went from a 45-minute session for $188 to 3 hours because
No.
I respond.
Yeah, no, 30 minutes. They are 30-minute sessions where you drop gold with your 4323. You give them the insight that they need to move them forward. And they're 30-minute sessions, and that's it. So
Okay.
this is just me like spitballing. Just forgive me if you don't like anything. But if you have a social following, if you have an email list, wherever it is, I would just say I've opened up this new offer for 6 people a month. I have space for 6 people a month, 3 people a month, 5 people a month. Somebody's saying in the chat, set a timer. Yeah. Whatever it is for you, however many of these spots that you can open up a month, but this is exclusive access for 30 minutes for access to this, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And you will get the people who value taking fast action and who value just like getting to the bottom of it. Like not all of us are going to sit and watch an hour and a half live stream, but some people will do that. And then, okay, so a couple of other things. The live stream, do you have someone repurposing that for you?
No.
That would be powerful to get content made out of that, even doing it through AI. Opus Pro or Vidyo, VIDYO, like I don't know all the AI things, but there's lots of them. For getting all kinds of content out of there. I would definitely be repurposing because that's gold. Even the transcript and making some blog posts and things out of, like that's gold, that 1.5 hour live stream. And then the reason I was asking about your ideal client was I too felt like they must be a little bit familiar with human design. So that too changes how you show up, right? So if ever you feel like you have to be in this place of, like I gotta bring everyone with me. I don't know that it's like for none of us. No, none of us serves everyone, but I really get the sense that your people are already knowing human design. So how can you like bring feng shui to the human design space? Might be an angle to take as well. Because we all can offer different things about, like, I'm going to see something different in your design than Dana will, than Jason will, than Marika will. Like, we're all going to see different things because it's all interpretation. So we're all going to look at a chart completely differently. So it doesn't matter if people already know their human design. I mean, you have something to offer, and you know that 4323. Ooh, I love that channel. I have human design envy over that channel. So cool. I get to work with a lot of people with that energy, and it's so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like I'm really great at using it for other people.
That's what
and I do. Well, right, and I do it in my own life. Like I look at some of the little hacks and MacGyver things that I do, and I'm just like, this is pretty freaking genius. But like in my business, I feel like I'm an idiot. I'm like, duh. Like,
well, that's because it's not for you. The 4323 isn't for you.
right.
Dana, sorry, did you, or maybe she was.
No, I was just saying same. I mean, we have some similarities in our chart. My conscious sun and earth is 14 and 8. But I'm a juxtaposition cross. And 4323, it's a theme in my family. I have it, my son has it, my mom had it, we all have it. But I can understand your not knowing like how useful it is and how it works, because podcast I have with my daughter, I say it all the time. I'll talk and I know it's channeling and it's coming through sometimes. It's not what I meant to say. And then I'm always like, does that make sense? And she's always like, yeah, it makes sense. And I've just learned to lean into that no matter how crazy things sound coming out of my head to me sometimes and just sound like a jumble, because you have that 23, which is unconscious in me, it lands whether you try or not. I think the harder you try to control it, the more convoluted it can get. But if you just let it flow, it is magic. Like it just happens. So lean into that and just trust it. Trust it's there.
I have been, and I also have the 56, the storyteller. And so when I used to do tarot readings, I used to like bring in these random stories from my life, and at the end I'd be like, I don't know why I share that with you. Does it make sense? And they're like, oh my God, yeah. They're like, bingo, 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 bingo. And I'm like, okay. So I do trust it. It's just that I don't know how to use it for myself. And I know
don't either.
it's for myself.
It's not, it's projected. Yeah.
Sometimes these long live streams, like I'm like, oh yeah, I should write that down. I need to do that. Like sometimes I'll sit down after a session with a client and I'm like, okay, I need to practice this. I need to practice this. I need to practice this. So I do see that. Yeah.
Okay, so I just looked at the clock and realized that we are almost at an hour and a half, which is kind of crazy. So thanks for hanging out here with me. Does that feel like you can move yourself forward a little bit? Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. And are you in the Facebook group?
Yes.
Okay. So reach out in there. I don't check notifications every day, but tag me or talk about it if you want some more support as you move through getting this launch ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Dana. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to ask. So I was having trouble like everybody else getting into the call today. So I had originally registered for these calls for like the ones going into July. Will that link be what used the next time, or is there
It should be. So, so these two were set up differently. But then after last Thursday's kind of glitch where it was webinar format, I went in and created new links in the company Zoom account. So I believe they will be the same, but we'll update by tomorrow morning at the latest. But they should.
Will email go out or let us know like that? Okay. All right. That's all I had because this is great to have this kind of support.
Good. Good. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I love having these calls. So tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, we have tech support on as well. So come on in and bring all of your business stuff and tech stuff, and we will get you sorted. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a good night.